If you're a man over 60 and your erections aren't what they used to be, softer, slower, or maybe gone altogether, you're not alone. Millions of senior men quietly carry this burden, thinking it's just part of aging. They sit in silence, avoiding intimacy, pretending everything's fine, while inside they feel disconnected, uncertain, and ashamed of something their body no longer does the way it used to. But what if I told you, your body isn't broken, it's just running low on the right fuel? I'm Dr. Max Cole, a urologist with 30 years of experience in men's health, and I've spent my career helping older men rediscover their strength and confidence without drugs or shame. I've seen retired firefighters, teachers, veterans, men who once believed their best years were behind them, reignite their energy and restore their erections naturally with science-backed, time-tested changes to how they eat, sleep, and live. And no, this isn't about taking a little blue pill or doing anything extreme. It's about understanding your biology as it is today and giving your body the support it quietly craves. One man I worked with, George 73, came to me frustrated. He said, "I still feel like a man up here, pointing to his head, but down there nothing works." Turns out George wasn't broken at all. His testosterone was low, his circulation was struggling, and his nighttime routine wasn't helping. But once we made a few key changes to his diet and added a simple nighttime habit, George started waking up with firm, reliable erections again within weeks. His confidence came back. So did his relationship with his wife. That's what this video is really about. Not just performance, but reconnection with yourself, with your partner, with your purpose as a man in this new season of life. If you care about men's health, about honoring your body as it changes, and learning how to thrive, not just survive in your 60s, 70s, and beyond, then you're exactly where you need to be. In just a moment, or I'll walk you through 5 simple foods, yes, just nuts, that support testosterone circulation and the strength you thought was gone for good. But before we get into that, take a moment, just one, hit the subscribe button and turn on that little bell. This channel, Life Over 50 Plus, is here for men like you, offering real sexual education, senior health tips, and practical wisdom for navigating erectile dysfunction, urinary incontinence, semen retention, power, and the truth about whether masturbation is good or bad for health. We're not here to judge. We're here to help you feel strong, informed, and supported just like you deserve. Let's begin. Introduction. Meet Dr. Max Cole. My name is Dr. Max Cole, and I have been a board-certified urologist here in the United States for over 30 years. I've spent my career walking alongside men, especially those over 60, who feel like their body is changing faster than they can understand. And I've learned something powerful through all these years. Getting older doesn't mean becoming invisible. It means learning how to care for your body in a deeper, wiser way with the clarity and experience you've earned. I've worked with thousands of older men, from retired truck drivers and Navy veterans to school teachers and quiet grandfathers, each one coming to me with concerns they were too embarrassed to say out loud. Erectile dysfunction, urinary incontinence, low testosterone, even uncertainty about masturbation or how their needs change with age. Many of them believe the same myth, that senior sexual health fades with time and there's nothing you can do but accept it. But that's just not true. Your body is still capable. It's still full of potential. It just needs a different kind of support. I remember one patient in particular, David, age 68. He told me he had stopped trying to be intimate with his wife, not because he didn't love her, but because he was afraid of failing. He'd convinced himself it was over. But we made a few key changes, just food rest, some simple routines, and within 2 months, David was back. Not just physically, emotionally. He looked his wife in the eye, again, not with fear, but with quiet confidence. That's the kind of transformation I live for. Here's the truth. Whether it's erectile dysfunction, testosterone, questions about masturbation is good or bad for health, or just wanting to feel strong again, there are answers. Not from gimmicks, not from overnight fixes, but from real men's health wisdom backed by science, personal care, and a respect for what it means to age well. In this video, I'll be sharing practical health tips for men over 60, starting with something as simple as the nuts in your kitchen. You'll learn how 5 specific types of nuts can help improve your circulation, hormone levels, and even your confidence in the bedroom. You'll understand why so many men quietly suffer in silence and what to do instead. If you're here, you're already taking a courageous step. You're choosing to stay informed, to be proactive, and to seek real advice for the elderly, grounded in compassion and truth. This isn't just about performance, it's about senior health, semen retention, power, emotional connection, and reclaiming a part of yourself that still matters deeply. So if that speaks to you, if you're ready to feel seen, supported, and stronger from the inside out, stick with me. Let's dive into the first small change that can set this healing in motion. We're starting with a powerful, often overlooked food that many men ignore, but could be the first key to rebuilding what time tried to take away. Let's talk about that now. Nut number 1, Brazil nuts, the testosterone igniter. Let's begin with a nut most men over 60 have never given a second thought to: Brazil nuts. They're large, creamy, and come from deep in the Amazon rainforest. But inside this simple shell is something incredibly powerful for your men's health: selenium. Now, selenium is one of those minerals you don't hear about on TV commercials or flashy supplement ads. But for older men, it's one of the most essential nutrients for testosterone production, hormone balance, and yes, sexual health. Unfortunately, many elderly men in America are quietly deficient in selenium. They're not getting it from their diet, and their body is paying the price: fatigue, low libido, and slow, inconsistent erections. I had a patient named Gerald, 72 years old. He wasn't interested in medications, didn't want to talk about masturbation, and thought maybe he was too far gone. But all we did was add 2 Brazil nuts a day, just 2 right after breakfast. And within 4 weeks, Gerald reported more energy, clearer focus, and stronger morning erections. He even joked that his wife started waking up before him because she was curious where his confidence came from. The secret lies in selenium's role in testosterone synthesis. Selenium also supports a critical process called glutathione production, which protects your blood vessels from oxidative stress. That means better circulation, not just for your heart or brain, but for your penis too. And that's crucial when you're addressing erectile dysfunction or recovering your spark after years of stress, illness, or emotional disconnection. But here's the thing, you don't need to overdo it. Just 1 to 2 Brazil nuts a day is enough. More than that can cause selenium buildup, which your body doesn't need. Think of these nuts like nature's quiet multivitamin for older men. Not flashy, not trendy, just deeply nourishing. And remember, we're not trying to fix a broken body here. We're working with it, feeding it what it's been asking for in silence. That's the heart of real senior wisdom. So if you're watching this and wondering where to start, begin with something small and simple. Pick up a small bag of Brazil nuts. Leave them next to your coffee pot. Eat 1 or 2 each morning. That's it. It's not a gimmick. It's a gentle act of self-care that speaks to your body in a language it understands. And while Brazil nuts support your testosterone, the next nut we'll talk about plays a powerful role in something just as vital: blood flow. Because as every urologist knows, no matter how strong your hormones are, if the circulation isn't there, nothing else will work. Let's explore the second nut that older men should be eating regularly. It's small, brain-shaped, and surprisingly mighty. Nut number 2, walnuts, the circulation booster. Now let's talk about walnuts, a humble little nut that looks like the human brain. And turns out it's also one of the best foods for your circulatory system. And if you're a man over 60 struggling with erectile dysfunction, here's something most folks won't tell you. The problem often isn't testosterone. It's blood flow. Plain and simple. If blood can't reach your penis efficiently, no amount of desire or hormone supplements can make things work. This is where men's health becomes more than just numbers on a lab test. It's about how your entire body functions as a system. And walnuts are one of the best natural allies you have. Why? Because they're rich in L-arginine, an amino acid that boosts nitric oxide production in your blood vessels. Nitric oxide relaxes and expands those vessels, improving circulation from head to toe, including to the area that matters when it's time to be intimate. I remember a man named Joe, 69 years old, who came to me saying, "Doc, I feel like everything's slowing down. I used to feel like a racehorse. Now I'm a rocking chair." Joe had normal testosterone but poor circulation. He didn't need pills. He needed better blood vessel health. So we started small, a handful of walnuts in the evening just before bed. He also added light walking after dinner, nothing fancy. After 3 weeks, Joe reported firmer morning erections and more sensation during arousal. He even said his hands and feet weren't as cold anymore. Now, some of you might be thinking, is it really that simple? Yes, when done consistently. Senior health isn't about sudden miracles. It's about stacking small wins. And adding 5-7 walnut halves to your evening routine is a win you can start tonight. There's also early research suggesting that walnuts may support semen retention, power brain function, and even reduce inflammation linked to urinary incontinence. They're packed with omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and fiber, all key nutrients for senior wisdom and lasting sexual health. So here's your small step today. Keep a jar of raw walnuts near your bedside or nightstand. Eat them after brushing your teeth about 30 minutes before sleep. Why before bed? Because nighttime is when your body naturally restores circulation and hormone balance. It's also when your brain releases growth hormone, your internal repair crew. And if you have ever struggled with masturbation, low energy, or disconnection from your body, this habit helps you gently return to yourself with care. As we move forward, the next nut on our list supports a very different system. Your prostate. Yes, that small gland often ignored until it causes problems. But there's one powerful nut that's been used for centuries to soothe, protect, and even shrink it. Let's uncover it next. Nut number 3. Almonds' quiet power for energy and hormones. Let's take a moment to appreciate something simple: almonds. They don't shout for attention. They don't look exotic or feel magical. But for men over 60 who are navigating changes in energy, hormones, and even sexual confidence, almonds are a quiet powerhouse for men's health. Why? Because almonds are rich in magnesium, zinc, and healthy fats, 3 essentials for testosterone, support blood sugar balance, and calm nervous system function. Most elderly men don't realize how magnesium deficiency affects them. It doesn't just lead to leg cramps or poor sleep. It can also disrupt testosterone production and leave you feeling flat emotionally and physically. I had a patient named Ray, age 75. He wasn't struggling with erectile dysfunction, but he said he felt tired of being tired. He used to love woodworking, used to enjoy intimacy with his wife. But lately, everything felt like a chore. Ray had been skipping meals, relying on processed snacks, and drinking 2 strong coffees just to get going in the morning. What he needed wasn't more caffeine, it was fuel, real fuel. So we introduced almonds, just a small handful, about 7 to 10 between lunch and dinner. No sugar, no salt, just whole raw almonds. Within 2 weeks, his afternoon crashes eased. By week 4, Ray was back in his workshop, and his wife told me, half smiling, "He's humming again." You see, almonds work on a deeper level. They nourish your adrenal glands, which help regulate stress and energy. They're also linked to better control of insulin, which is critical because unstable blood sugar is a quiet threat to sexual health, prostate function, and mood. And when it comes to senior health, it's the small imbalances like blood sugar dips or poor sleep that slowly chip away at your vitality. Here's one more powerful insight: almonds also support semen retention power. Because your body needs zinc and healthy fats to build quality semen and to maintain optimal hormone balance, especially as you age. That's not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering the power you've always had and nourishing it. So what can you do today? Tuck a small bag of almonds into your jacket pocket or glove compartment. Keep them on your desk. Eat them when you feel that slump coming. It's not just a snack, it's a message to your body. I'm listening to you now. And if you've ever wondered whether masturbation is good or bad for health, know this: your relationship with your body starts with how you feed it. And almonds are a beautiful place to start. Up next, we'll explore a nut often forgotten in Western kitchens, but beloved in Eastern medicine for centuries. It's buttery rich in plant sterols and can help calm the prostate while nourishing the heart. Let's talk about pistachios. Nut number 4. Pistachios, ancient fuel for modern intimacy. Pistachios might seem like just a crunchy green snack, but long before they filled the shelves of American grocery stores, they were treasured in the Middle East as a symbol of vitality, intimacy, and masculine energy. And today, modern science is catching up with what ancient wisdom already knew. Pistachios are powerful fuel for men's health, especially in the bedroom. What makes them so special? First, they're loaded with plant sterols, natural compounds that help balance cholesterol and support blood vessel health. But more importantly, for sexual health, pistachios contain high levels of arginine, a compound that promotes nitric oxide production, which increases blood flow. And as we've discussed before, circulation is the unsung hero of strong erections. A small study published in the International Journal of Impotence Research found that men who ate pistachios daily for 3 weeks experienced significant improvement in erectile dysfunction. They didn't change their medication. They didn't start a new workout plan. They simply added pistachios. Let me tell you about Dennis, one of my patients in his early 70s. He's a retired Navy veteran, tough guy, but he sat across from me, his voice low, and said, "Doc, I still love my wife. But my body, it's like it doesn't get the message anymore." We talked through his labs. His testosterone was on the lower side, his cholesterol was a bit high, and he was beginning to experience urinary incontinence at night. Rather than push him toward prescriptions right away, I suggested a holistic shift. One part of that, a handful of unsalted pistachios every afternoon. Now it wasn't magic, but it was powerful. Within 1 month, Dennis reported firmer erections, fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom, and his words, not mine, more life in the bedroom than I've had in years. That's not just about pistachios. It's about giving your body the right building blocks. Senior health isn't about extremes. It's about honoring what still works and strengthening it. These little green gems are also rich in vitamin B6, which helps regulate mood and hormones, and fiber, which supports digestion, a system often overlooked in discussions about sexual health. Here's your small step for today. Swap out your afternoon cookie or salty chips with a quarter cup of raw or roasted pistachios. Chew them slowly. Feel the texture. Let that moment of nourishment remind you that senior wisdom is not about pushing harder, it's about listening deeper. If you've ever wondered about masturbation or whether intimacy still belongs in your life after 60, let me reassure you it does. But true intimacy starts with caring for yourself in quiet, everyday ways. And pistachios, they're a beautiful place to begin. Next, we move to a nut that many of you already know and love, but most don't realize how deeply it affects hormone balance and prostate support. Let's explore the humble, powerful pumpkin seed. Nut number 5, macadamia nuts, the hormone protector. Of all the foods I've recommended to my patients over the years, macadamia nuts are one of the quiet champions, especially for senior men. They don't get as much attention as walnuts or almonds, but for protecting hormones and supporting long-term men's health, they're a hidden gem. One of the biggest issues I see in older men is silent inflammation. It creeps in with age, disrupts testosterone production, slows down metabolism, and throws off energy levels. Most men don't realize it's happening until they start losing muscle sleep, become shallow, or their sex drive disappears. That's when I often bring up macadamia nuts. These rich, buttery nuts are packed with monounsaturated fats, those same heart-healthy fats found in olive oil. But here's the twist. Macadamias are even better balanced for senior health. They help lower inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and nourish your endocrine system, the same system responsible for sexual health, adrenal balance, and energy regulation. Let me tell you about Harold, a 68-year-old retired vet who came to me after a string of failed diets. He was tired all the time, his libido had dipped, and he was considering hormone therapy. But before we took that route, I suggested a change in his breakfast routine. Instead of toast or sugary cereal, I asked him to try a small handful of raw macadamia nuts, a boiled egg, and half an avocado. Within a few weeks, Harold noticed stronger morning erections, fewer energy crashes, and what meant the most to him, more confidence with his wife. That's the power of real food. No side effects, just nourishment. Macadamia nuts also support semen retention power by reducing oxidative stress. This matters more than most people think, especially for elderly men. Oxidative stress wears down every system in your body. When you lower it, your body starts conserving strength instead of leaking it away. It's one of the quiet truths behind why some men in their 70s still feel sharp and strong. If you're managing issues like urinary incontinence or erectile dysfunction, you may be tempted to look only at medication or devices. But sometimes it's a simple shift like swapping your snack that can make all the difference. Macadamias are gentle on the gut, kind to the brain, and protective of your manhood. I encourage you to try just 6 to 8 raw macadamia nuts per day. Chew them slowly, enjoy the richness. See how your body responds over the next few weeks. You deserve to feel powerful in your own skin. No gimmicks, no shame. Just grounded health tips, real advice for the elderly, and a deeper respect for what nature offers. And remember, when you choose foods that support your system, you're not just eating, you're healing. Let's keep going. There's one more simple habit that can quietly restore your strength each morning. Let me show you. Special tip: eat walnuts before bed. Sometimes the smallest habits create the biggest shifts, especially when it comes to senior health. And tonight, before you turn off the lights and settle in for sleep, I want you to try something simple. Just eat 3 raw walnuts. That's it. Now, you might be wondering why walnuts and why before bed. Here's the quiet secret: walnuts are a natural source of melatonin, magnesium, and omega-3 fatty acids. These nutrients don't just help you fall asleep, they also help regulate blood flow and hormonal recovery overnight. That's crucial for older men because this is when your body does its most important rebuilding work. It's when testosterone resets. It's when semen retention power matters most. And it's when consistent action pays off in better sexual health. I've seen this work in dozens of my patients over 60. One of them, Alan, used to wake up groggy and unmotivated. He thought it was just part of aging. But when I asked about his nightly routine, I noticed he was skipping protein and fat late in the day. So I gave him a very gentle assignment: 3 raw walnuts before bed. After just 2 weeks, he told me something had changed. He was waking up with more energy. And yes, he was waking up with stronger erections too. Walnuts support nitric oxide production, which helps keep the blood vessels in your penis open and responsive. If you've struggled with erectile dysfunction, this tiny bedtime snack can make a meaningful difference, especially when paired with gentle exercise for seniors over 60, good hydration, and healthy mindset shifts. And it's not just physical. A restful night with deeper REM sleep improves mood, memory, and confidence, foundations of strong men's health at any age. There's no need to count calories, no need to follow strict rules. Just make it a ritual. Keep a small jar of walnuts by your nightstand. When you finish brushing your teeth, pause. Chew them slowly. Breathe. Let your body know it's being cared for. And if you find this tip helpful, share it with a friend, a brother, or even your partner. Simple wisdom like this belongs in every household that values aging with dignity. Next, let's talk about mindset. Because sometimes the breakthrough isn't in what you're eating, it's in how you're thinking. Let's take a deeper look. Mindset reframe. Your body isn't broken. Let's take a moment here not to add more tips or rules, but to shift how you see yourself. Because too many men over 60 quietly carry a belief that breaks my heart. I'm broken, I'm past my prime. This is just how it is. But I want to tell you something I've said to hundreds of men in my clinic. Your body isn't broken. It's simply missing the right fuel, the right rhythm, and the right belief. This mindset of decline, of giving up, is one of the biggest blocks to restoring real men's health. It's not just a physical issue. It's emotional. It's spiritual. And it's powerful. I remember a retired firefighter named Jim, 68 years old, who came into my office with slumped shoulders. He'd been struggling with erectile dysfunction, low energy, and quiet shame around his changing body. His wife had noticed the distance too. Jim kept saying, "I don't feel like a man anymore." That's what hurt him most. But instead of more prescriptions, I gave him a mirror and asked him to look himself in the eye and say this: "My body is healing. I am rebuilding. I am still a man." We talked about foods like Brazil nuts and walnuts, small health tips that rebuild testosterone and circulation. But just as importantly, we worked on helping Jim trust his body again. When he returned for his 30-day follow-up, something had shifted. He was standing taller. He wasn't just eating differently, he was thinking differently. His wife told me with tears in her eyes, "I have my husband back." That's the power of belief paired with consistent care. So here's the truth. If you've struggled with urinary incontinence, low desire, or felt confused about masturbation is good or bad for health, it doesn't mean your best years are behind you. It just means your body is waiting for you to believe in it again, to feed it, to move it, to listen to it with curiosity and respect. You are not broken. You are rebuilding. Make this your new daily habit every morning when you brush your teeth. Say out loud, "I'm not broken. I'm rebuilding." Whisper it if you need to. Write it on a sticky note, but don't forget it. This is the mindset that fuels real lasting transformation, not just for your sexual health, but for every corner of your senior health. Now let's bring it all together and close with the bigger picture. Because aging doesn't have to mean decline, it can mean refinement, strength, and deeper wisdom. Let's finish with that reminder. Conclusion: aging means refinement. Let's set the record straight. Aging is not a slow decline. It's a refinement, a sharpening of wisdom, a return to what truly matters. And when it comes to men's health, that truth is more important now than ever. You've spent decades building and taking care of others. But now this season of life is about you, about choosing what strengthens you, about remembering that senior health isn't about chasing youth, it's about deepening vitality, clarity, and connection. We've talked about nuts today, not just as snacks, but as strategic allies. Brazil, nuts to fire up testosterone. Walnuts for circulation and brain health. Almonds for quiet hormonal strength. Pistachios for intimacy and endurance. And macadamias, the unsung heroes protecting your hormones from the inside out. Each one is a step, not magic but movement, not pills but power, a way to feed your body with ancient fuel and future potential. And when paired with belief, real gut-level belief, you begin to restore more than your erections. You restore your energy, your focus, your intimacy, and even your self-respect. One of my patients, Mr. Howard 73, told me something that stuck. I used to think getting older meant disappearing. Now I think it just means I get to choose what I show up for. That's the kind of senior wisdom that moves mountains. That's what happens when you stop seeing yourself as broken and start treating your body with the care it's been quietly asking for. Whether you're navigating erectile dysfunction, wondering about semen, retention, power struggling with urinary incontinence, or just rethinking masturbation is good or bad for health, know this: you are not alone, and you are not done. Keep going. Choose foods that nourish, thoughts that uplift, and habits that restore. If this video helped you, share it with a friend who might need the reminder too. Drop your story in the comments, because your voice might be exactly what another man needs to hear today. And if you haven't already subscribed to Life Over 50 Plus, we're building a space for real talk, real science, and real hope for men just like you. This isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of the chapter where you reclaim it, one breath, one bite, and one belief at a time. Aging doesn't mean fading. It means becoming more you than ever before.